Hello. We are delighted to be here today. My name is Anakheim, and I'm here with my, what you would call sister, NATURANKAH. Today we would like to talk to you about the challenges you face in your life and how you can feel that these challenges are not the same as your parents' challenges that they faced in the same age range as you. You can feel and you understand and you know that the energy is different. It is altered. It is elevated. It is expanded. And that time has sped up more now than it was experienced by your parents or your grandparents or your grandparents' parents 30, 50, 70, 100 years ago. And it's not necessarily due to the technology on your planet that you utilize in order to establish lines of communication, although that contributes to the speeding up of the timelines. But we're not talking about speed of timelines in the sense of from 10 a.m. in the morning to 4 p.m. in the afternoon in a linear sense. We are talking about the speeding up of timelines in the sense of the energy that is experienced on a moment-to-moment basis and how it shifts greatly from moment to moment. These energies were perceived and sensed as moving a little bit more, if you will, cautiously through linear time. And so the feelings of transitions happened, what may have felt like sudden to some of your parents and your grandparents, but in perspective of where you are today, it is understood that their perspective on the energies transforming from moment to moment is very different than the one you have here and now. And we want to set up this basis of understanding and really hit it home with you so you can have more grace with yourself as you start to move through these great shifts of planetary expulsion. And we don't want that to sound negative or scary or doomsday in any way, shape, or form. But there will be a sense of renewing that is undeniable. Again, this happens because the humans that are in these certain regions of the planet are calling for this shift, this physical shift, this planetary shift to take place. The hearts and the minds of these people and animals and creatures are all calling for a certain vibrational shift, and the path of least resistance for your planet is to shake things up, quite literally. And we want you to know and understand at this time, it is not a time to be fearful. It is not a time to condemn. It is not a time to give in. It is not a time to let your thoughts run wild. We strongly encourage you to continue to go inward and practice your meditation, or practice your breathing, or practice your just being still. If you cannot meditate, can you lay on the floor? Can you just lay on the floor without your phone? Without a laundry list of things that you need to do in your mind? Are you able to lay there without going to sleep so soon? These are the things that we want you to begin to practice more and more. Leaning into the being still, because in that stillness is where you start to understand and know, come into the power of knowing, not the power of knowledge, but the power of knowing what to expect next and what moves to make next. Again, we will repeat ourselves and we will reassure you that this is not a time to be fearful, and that those who have called what you would label traumatic events, those individuals who are experiencing those traumatic events and maybe crossing over to the other side within those traumatic events in masses, have asked for this path, have asked for this release. They have another job to do somewhere else amongst the universe. This is not the end all be all, although it is a pretty big deal. It is a very big deal within the entire realms of the universe and the multiverse. What your planet is going through is a very big deal. And even though it has experienced this on many levels before and on many timelines before, as your evidence of your planet will reveal to you, has revealed to you, but really will reveal to you in the next coming 2 years, will be the sign and the marker for you to continue your path going inward and continuing to trust into the flow of life, into the universe and the plans that you intended for yourself to come to this planet. So do not look to your left and to your right as your brothers and sisters in humanity seem to be sinking. Because, again, they have requested this part of their journey, just as you have requested yours. Please stand in your light and in your power and in your knowing that you are meant to be on this planet during this time, and that you get to decide your exit, how, when, and where. Why? Because you have already done the work. You have done the work enough to stand in your light body, to stand in your understanding and knowing of who you are and what your mission is here. To help the others, to help yourself first, but to help the others. Cross the bridge of ascension that you have laid forth for them. Now that you have laid the bridge, it is time to go back. And that is the repetitive cycle that you find yourselves in as a human being, where you don't quite understand why you would continue to repeat these cycles, even though you are much better off than you were, say, 5, 10, 15 years ago in your mindset, in your subconscious programmings, in your perception of self-worth and your position of self-love with yourself. You are much better off now than you were those 10 years ago. However, it does feel like a never-ending cycle where you still seem to be visiting the same faces and places of energy that perplex you and stir up some agitation inside of you. And again, we will remind you, this is the process. This is how you help others cross. Every time you dip, or what you think is a dip, or a relapse of some sort, it is simply you crossing the bridge that you built. Because now your frequency resonates with those who are struggling in those cycles, who are much worse off than you ever were. You see your heart connects to those hearts who are struggling but have desire and will into their ascension process. Their hearts are activated into their ascension process every time you are willing to recross the bridge back into the third dimension, briefly as it may be, a few hours, a few days, a few months, but nothing that is detrimental to your evolution. You come back to the 3D, you experience your 3D, you express some old 3D habits and ways of being, and you know you do not want this for yourself, so why are you here? And then you pull your pants back up and strap yourself back in. And find your way back to the higher realms through 4D up to 5D. Some of you are in 6 and 7D at times. Every realm that you spend time in and you find yourself in gains some benefit from you being there. There is no mistake. Because you make another pathway. You never come back the bridge that you built. You see, you build, you consciously build a new bridge, a new pathway for that other consciousness to use, to go across, to reach a new height. And sometimes you don't build a new bridge, you use another bridge that another consciousness has built. Because it is a different experience every single time. Each bridge is a new experience into the next piece of one's ascension process. And there's new information, new understanding, and new knowing to be grounded into yourselves. And on the topic of grounding, sometimes there are times for grounding, and that is most beneficial to you. And sometimes there is more benefit for you to come into your meditation and sit with your guidance, your spiritual team. Sometimes. And sometimes you will overdo it in one arena or the next. Sometimes you will float away in your meditations too much and not want to be grounded. And sometimes you will be so grounded and so heavy that you will never believe that you could ever come back. However, this is also a part of the process. This is a part of you finding the balance between the higher dimensional planes and the lower dimensional planes. So you can go back and forth. You can become that time traveler with ease, with intention, with purpose. And you will no longer go back to these lower dimensional realms because, oops, you tripped and you fell. But you will go back to these realms because somebody else tripped and fell, and you are able to lower yourself to the ground and help them up. And this is how we create New Earth together. This is how we create a new space of consciousness that will lead into a new plane of government, a new consciousness of government that will govern those who are ascending, those who are coming into their higher vibrational frequencies and able to stabilize themselves there. And those helping the others, they will return down and they will come back up, and they will repeat this cycle until all that has asked to be on this path of ascension are now ascended and have stabilized their frequencies. Once this agreement happens between humanity and its consciousness that we will all live on a certain frequency, the realms of the lower dimensional frequencies, the gates will be closed. And the light workers and the way showers and all those who consider themselves to be on this mission in assisting humanity in the path of ascension, you will go down one last time. And you will go together. And you simultaneously, and I mean that quite literally. And a lot of times we let things be interpreted up to your energy, but we do mean this quite literally. In the same moment, you will all come to a place of meditation. And this meditation will take no more than 90 seconds. There will be some overlapping. Some will come in, some will overlap, and some will come after. But you will all be connected. So we do want you to understand that this connection of overlapping 90 seconds can expand out into 5 minutes as a collective. That is a pretty tight knit of consciousness in the same moment within a 5-minute span. We understand that you do not understand moments for being lasting 5 minutes, but this is how you become a time traveler. Yes, yes. So you will come into your meditations all at the same time with the same intention to close the gates of the lower dimensional realms. Because your job is done. Because there is nowhere else to go but up from here. And those who chose the path of the lower, darker, vibrational pathways will experience a completely different reality. But we do want you to understand that you will all end up in the same place. And we do hear that some of you say, okay, so what's the point? Why go through all of this if we all end up at the same place? And our only answer is free will. Yes? Because you are playing a big game of life, not just on this planet, but within the universes. This big game of consciousness, to where little micro consciousnesses have individual wills. And so now the story has to weave organically. It cannot be forced. This story has to play out in the exact way that it was designed by you. And we mean by you individually. Because your one individual perspective changes everything. Oh, you are so powerful. And we love you so much. Your thoughts are significant. What you choose to hold in your thought realm is significant. Your body is significant. How you choose to use your body as a conduit of energy, whether it be through the voice box, whether it be through your sexual chakras, whether it be through your dietary and digestion and gut, whether it be through your heart and how you treat others and yourself. Whether it be through your thought process as a human being in your sense of survival. Do you understand? Your body is significant and important, and the chakras are a real thing, and how they absorb energy and process it and transform it into something new. How you consume energy and what you choose to do with that energy is important. There is no guilt or no shame that is cast before you for any decisions you make or another makes, one way or another. It is all a part of the story. It is all a part of this unfolding. But we say all of this to you, so it sets into your DNA on how powerful you truly are. And when you go into those deep, dark places, or places where you feel an old, familiar, uncomfortable feeling, there is no punishment to you in that moment. There's no reason to feel as though you have messed up, because you have not. You have taken on a huge mission, and we commend you for that. We commend you for the energies that you choose to come in contact with, as difficult and as challenging as they may be. We want you to release and let go of the idea of perfectionism and materialism. Yes, you can have all that your heart's desires, and yes, you can manifest anything into this physical realm. But we would like to ask you, there is nothing wrong with a material item. There's nothing wrong with it and manifesting it for yourself. But we'd like to ask you, if we told you by the power of your mind's eye and with the intention of your focus, if you could manifest a carrot in the ground, growing 10 times faster than it normally does, would you do it? We would like to ask you, if you could turn water into wine, would you do it? We would like to ask you, if you could manifest a utopian society of a human collective that could live in harmony with one another and have everything that it needs to survive and flourish, all the food, all the shelter, all the covering, all the love. Was always 100% available. Would you manifest it over the purse or the car or the trip? Would you manifest the new earth if we told you, by holding the image in your mind's eye for just a second, for just a moment every day, would you do it? You are so powerful, and we love you so much. We will end here, and we will leave you with a gift. So your gifts within yourselves that you intended to explore and express and expand here on this planetary realm, those gifts will be known to you. Konataram. Konataram tush anatai kuria adai. Anahuta, Anahuta, Anahutakaram, Us Uk Nariatata, Irarura Niatukania Tukashturiam, Irkutana Yaratukuria Satata, Iri Kirihiri Siri Aronotuku, Akarash Usaria Karanuhu Karik, Nariaratu Karamanatist Are Ukanana Harutu Iri. Nar, tira kuri tish, aria surukuru rai ta. Sarieta karayana nuyeta ta. Nuria sana ta. Kurianan ini ku nini utam. Kariana ta. Kuria at aik nut aras. Urkiarana tu utakaran. Rikuruk arana tatatakar utusutuku tayana kuria. Yarakuro tu, kriata tu. O kriata tu, O kriata tu, uri kriata tu, ukriata tu. Ak nam. Cha taku. Hariata We are complete. We thank you so much for this time and allowing us to send you a gift, and we are so grateful that you received that gift. And you will begin to come into your spiritual gifts within the next 3 to 6 months. If you have not already experienced them, if you have, they will come in more powerfully, more clearly, and at an accelerated pace. And your connection to your spiritual team has been widened. That connection has been widened. There is more flow. There is more flow for you to connect into your higher guidance more often with clarity. We love you so much. As above, so below. So be it. Kara unta asht unk.